Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of High Octane Only. As you guys are probably aware, the entire world is currently shifting to all electric vehicles. Not a fan. Which inevitably means the eventual extinction of the internal combustion engine in new vehicles. I know, that is not what we all as car people want to hear. So I figured in the spirit of things, let's go through my top 10 best sounding cars of all time. In no particular order, these are going to be my top 10 cars that I think have the absolute best sound from factory. I'm going completely factory sound here. I'm not going to include any type of like straight pipe or anything like that unless it comes from the factory this way. Wink, wink. So let's take a look at my top 10. First car should come as no surprise to you. That's going to be the Lexus LFA. That thing has a ridiculously high-pitched 4.8 liter V10 engine. And the even more incredible thing is it was tuned by Yamaha. You know, those people that make all the instruments that sound amazing? Yeah, those same people tuned the exhaust on this thing. That is why it just sounds so crazy. Let's take a listen here. Yeah, if that doesn't make you want one, I don't know what does. Second on my list should also come as no surprise. I'm picking the Carrera GT. This thing has a 5.7 liter V10, and it is just a symphony of high-pitched F1 sound and exhaust. Take a listen. And then I've seen a couple people even straight pipe the Carrera GT. That just makes it sound even more amazing. Next up on the list, we're going to add 2 more cylinders to a V12. We're looking at the Lamborghini Murcielago. This thing has a 6.5 liter V12. It is a very similar engine to the Aventador, but coincidentally enough, they don't sound the same. And that actually has something to do with the firing order of the cylinders. Personally, I think they did much better with the Murcielago, and here's why. The Murcielago is going to forever be one of the best sounding cars of all time. I don't think there's anything that will be able to replace it. That V12 just F1 scream that it has, and it can almost go up to 8,500 RPM. And once you're up in that high rev range, that is pure bliss. Number 4 on my list is probably something you might not have even heard of. It is a V8 powered American muscle car from the early 2000s, and conveniently they only made 100 of them, so that's probably why you might not have heard of one. The next one is the Saleen S7, and the reason this car sounds so amazing, since there was such low production numbers, they were able to get an exemption from the EPA. This thing doesn't have any cats from the factory, which means straight pipes from the headers back. From factory. Just listen to this here. that V8 just muscly sound that you just can't match it. Number 5 on the list. We're back to the V10s, and conveniently, this one is the largest displacement V10 ever produced in a production car, and it has probably one of the most iconic sounds out there. We're talking about the Dodge Viper ACR. This thing has an 8.4 liter V10. 8.4! That's just absurd. To put that in perspective, the Bugatti Veyron has 16 cylinders. And that's only 8 liters. This has 6 less cylinders and another 0.4 liters on top of that. These cylinders are just massive. And with that comes an excellent sounding exhaust that comes out right on the side exit below the doors, which you can't argue with that. Full disclosure, the Dodge Viper ACR is on my list of top cars that I want to have in my garage someday, as you can see. Next on the list, we're going back to the V12s, but we're going across the pond over to Italy. Next one's going to be the Ferrari F12 TDF. 6.3 liter V12 that has a super high rev range. I believe it's 8,700 RPM, which is just crazy. And with that high rev comes the awesome symphony from Ferrari. You can't go wrong with anything from Ferrari, but these V12s are just perfect. On the list, we're staying across the pond over in Europe, but we're going to go a little bit northwest and head to Germany. We're looking at another Porsche. We're looking at the GT3 RS. These flat 6 engines from Porsche are not only extremely reliable, but they just sound awesome. They rev up, the GT3 RS revs up to 8,500 RPM, and it's naturally aspirated, which means you get all those sounds out of there. You don't have any turbos or anything blocking some of that beautiful noise. You get all of it all the time. I've seen a couple of GT3 RSs before, and I'll tell you what, they are a sight to behold with all the carbon fiber and the big wings and whatnot, but there's nothing that compares to that exhaust. The next car on our list isn't exactly street legal, but it is a hypercar nonetheless. We're taking a look at something from Pagani, and this is going to be the Zonda R. The Zonda R is specifically a car made for the track. It is not road legal, and I don't think I know of anybody on the planet who has made one of these street legal. By the way, if you have one of these, you should totally do that. But this V12 from AMG that's under the hood, paired with that beautiful titanium exhaust, just gives it an amazing sound. And the fact that it's a race car means it doesn't have to follow any emissions rules, making it one of the best sounding vehicles on the planet. had millions of dollars, this would definitely be on my list for a car in my garage. But one can hope. Number 9 on the list is also a race car, but I believe there has been one person who has made one of these street legal. And we're going back to the prancing horse from Ferrari. We're looking at the Ferrari FXXK Evo. This is the race car that's made from the LaFerrari platform, but it just turns the LaFerrari up to 11. You know, screw that. It goes past 11. It takes it up to 12. This vehicle is on a whole nother planet. It's got over 1,000 horsepower, and just listen to this. And then the last car on our list, something that you probably didn't see coming. We're going to the UK, but it's not a McLaren and it's not an Aston Martin. It's a Jag. Yes, we're going to Jaguar for something that you probably didn't expect. We're going to take a look at the F-Type SVR. Yes, you heard me right. I said F-Type. But it has to be the SVR, and here's why. The crackles and pops that you get from that factory exhaust compare to no other. I don't know of any other vehicle that does it that much, unless you get a flame tune or something like that that gives you those crackles. So there you guys have it. That is my top 10 list for the best sounding cars on the planet. What do you guys think are the best sounding? Did I miss something that you would have preferred to see on the list? Let me know in the comments below, and maybe I'll make a part 2. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.